Hi learners, I'm teacher Adeline and I'm going to teach you one of the learning competencies in handicraft making. You are going to learn the use of basic tools in embroidery. Here are the objectives of the lesson. You are going to identify the basic tools and materials used in embroidery. Give the uses of tools and materials. Classify tools and materials according to their uses. Before we begin with our lesson, I will show to you some pictures to warm up your mind. Can you identify this? Correct. It's an embroidery scissor. How about this picture? Correct. It's a thread. Next. Yes, it's a needle. Correct. It's a cloth with the sign. Very good, learners. Great job. We Filipinos are known to be creative. We can make things beautiful in as much as we want how they will look like. Even old materials can be turned anew. Learning new things is our habit, regardless on how easy or hard it is. Choosing the appropriate tools and materials in embroidery work will help you minimize mistakes, save time and effort in performing a required task. What is embroidery? Embroidery is an art of designing with needle and thread. The term embroidery is an English word derived from the Old French embroiders, meaning edge and border. What are the tools and materials used in embroidery? The tools and materials used in embroidery. Measuring gauge is used to measure short distance. Tape measure is used for measuring more than 1 foot distance or materials. Thimbles is made from metal or plastic. Protect the middle finger and push the needle while doing your embroidery work. This comes in sizes 6, which is the small, to 12, which is the large. Embroidery hoop or stiletto is made of wood, bone, metal, or plastic used to make eyelets in the fabric to be embroidered. It is also used to keep the fabric stretched while embroidery stitches are applied on the design. Embroidery scissor is a small, sharp, and pointed good for fine work. It is used for trimming scallops, clipping threads, and cutting large eyelets. Needle threader is used for easier threading, especially by those sewers with poor eyesight. Pounds powder is a fine powder used in transferring design by pricking method. Embroidery needle is a short piece of steel with a fine point at one end and a little opening or eye at the other. The kind of embroidery work to do and the kind of thread to use are the two things to be considered in choosing your needle. Three types of embroidery needle. 1. Crewel has sizes 1 to 10. Sharp pointed, medium length, with large eyes for easy threading, and used for most standard embroidery stitchery. Chenille has sizes 13 to 26. They are sharp-pointed needles, but they are thicker and longer and have larger eyes. They are the types of needles appropriate for embroidery that is worked with heavier yarns. Tapestry needle is from sizes 13 to 26. They are similar in size to chenille, but are blunt rather than sharp. This makes them best for thread counting embroidery and for the needle point as well. Watercolor brush is used for transferring the design using pricking and pouncing methods. Pin cushion is a place for pins and needles, especially when the pins and needles are not in use. Tracing paper is used for tracing designs. Sewing box is used to keep together the embroidery tools and materials. Embroidery materials. Fabric is sometimes referred to as cloth. It's of great variety and differs in material, weight, weave, design, color, and finish. Three types of fabric. Common weave. These are the tightly woven fabrics with relatively smooth surface like linen, wool, and cotton. They are best used for articles with decorative stitches. Even weave. Even weave are intended for hardanger embroidery. Basket weave. This fabric is commonly used by beginners. It supplies guidelines for cross-stitch. Thread is available in various types. Threads differ in terms of texture, fiber content, number of strands, and colors. They are usually coded in numbers and color names. They can be both in skeins, balls, or spools. Each color should suit the color and texture of the design and the fabric to be embroidered. Proper care of embroidery thread. Thread dents happen when a cone falls onto the floor. What is cone? Cone is a type of sewing thread that is intended specifically for use on a type of sewing machine. It is derived from the shape of spool onto which the thread is wound. Thread dents is a common problem for those that store unused cones on top of their machine. So to avoid thread dents, there must be a proper place for storage of cone thread when not in use. Discoloring and fading. Threads, especially rayon, will fade when exposed to sunlight for extended periods of time. If your threads are stored on a windowsill or anywhere sunlight can strike them full force, you risk fading and discoloring. So to avoid discoloration and fading of the threads, the unused threads must be stored in a place where there is no sunlight exposure. Lint buildup. Threads that sit out, exposed to the elements of your shop's environment, are prone to dust and lint building up. Over time, such buildup can sink down into the threads. So to avoid lint buildup, your thread must be stored in a clean and dry environment. Brittleness. In addition to discoloring and fading, excessive exposure to sunlight can dry out the thread and lead to brittleness in the fibers. It's exam time. Make your pen and paper ready to test your knowledge. Identify the pictures of the embroidery tools and materials. What is the name of this tool? Correct. Measuring gauge. What is the name of this tool? Correct. It's a tape measure. What is the name of this tool? Correct. It's thimbles. What is the name of this tool? Correct. It's embroidery hook or stiletto. What is the name of this tool? Correct. It's embroidery scissor. What is the name of this tool? Correct. It's a needle threader. What is the name of this tool? Correct. It's pounds powder. What is the name of this tool? Correct. It's embroidery needle. What is the name of this tool? Correct. Watercolor brush. What is the name of this tool? Correct. It's pin cushion. What is the name of this tool? Very good. Tracing paper. What is the name of this tool? Great job. Sewing box. What is the name of this tool? Correct. Bag. What is the name of this material? Correct. Fabric. What is the name of this material? Correct. Thread. Complete the chart by identifying the kind and uses of the tools and materials used in embroidery. It's a measuring gauge. It is used to measure short distance. Very good. Correct. Thimble. It protects the middle finger and push the needle while doing your embroidery work. Embroidery needle is a short piece of steel with a fine point at one end and a little opening or eye at the other. Very good. Yes, it's a pin cushion, a place for pins and needles. Correct. It's a sewing box used to keep together the embroidery tools and materials. Great job, learners! Multiple choice. Mrs. Smith measured a cloth that is more than 1 foot for her embroidery. What embroidery tool did she use? A. Gauge. B. Ruler. C. Meter. D. Tape measure. The correct answer is D. Tape measure. What type of needle has sizes 1 to 10, sharp-pointed, medium length, with large eyes for easy threading, and are used for most standard embroidery stitchery? A. Crewel needle. B. Tapestry needle. C. Chenille needle. D. Embroidery needle. The correct answer is crewel needle. The term embroidery is an English word derived from the Old French broderie, which means blank. A. Border. B. Decoration. C. Stitches. D. Stitches and embroidery. The correct answer is A. Border. It is a place for pins and needles. What it is? A. Bag. B. Needle threader. C. Pin cushion. D. Sewing tools. The correct answer is C. Pin cushion. It is sometimes referred to as cloth and differs in material, weight, weave, design, color, and finish. What it is? A. Bag. B. Fabric. C. Thread. D. Tracing paper. The correct answer. The correct answer is D. Fabric. Great job, learners! Thank you for listening and answering our activity. I hope you had fun and learned something today. Goodbye!